Hey guys, it's me, Carly, coming at you with another video. And there are three things I want to discuss in this video. Uh, the Elseworld crossover and why I'm not looking forward to it, but also the positives. The need to cancel people just because they say something stupid or something that you don't like. And the third one is the bullshit "we're open to all CW" commercial that I saw that I scoffed at, laughed at, and kind of just been like, And I've touched on why in a previous video, but why I'm not looking forward to the Flash, or to the Elseworld crossover. But the only things that I'm looking forward to is Iris West, Alan, Barry and Oliver acting like each other. Although, props to Lois Lane for wanting Barry, the real Barry played by Grant Gustin, to want to punch Oliver, because I want to punch him in the face too. And props to Nyssa for punching Oliver in the face in Arrow Season 3. And I'm also looking forward to seeing John Wesley Shipp as Barry Allen, because if you guys don't already know this, or for some of the guys who, for some of the people who don't know, John Wesley Shipp was Barry Allen in the 1990 Flash show, 5 years before I was born. Oh, now it makes sense. Because Earth 90 and John Wesley Shipp was the Flash in 1990 and 1991. And John Wesley Shipp, also a fun fact, has played 5 different Flash characters. Barry Allen, the original Flash, or the second Flash after Jay Garrick, who he also plays. Pollux, which is the Barry Allen clone in the blue costume. He's voiced Eobard Thawne in Batman, the animated series. It was kind of a more satirical Batman show. I can't remember the name of the Batman show, but he was Eobard Thawne's Reverse Flash in Zoom, or Professor Zoom. By the way, Professor Zoom is the Reverse Flash. They're the same character. And Zoom is a Wally West character, and he's a completely different character. But they both wear a yellow costume, and they both wear they both have Zoom in their name, except Professor Zoom is Eobard Thawne, while Zoom is the Wally West Flash. But not the Zoom you see on the CW Flash that wears a blue suit that has blue lightning. He originally wears a yellow suit like our Eobard Thawne. I know that whole sentence just sounded confusing, so feel free to ask questions. So yeah, so he voiced Eobard Thawne. He played Henry Allen, Grant Gustin's dad. Not Grant Gustin's Barry Allen's father. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm tripping over my words again. He played the Henry Allen to the Grant Gustin Barry Allen. Okay, good. Got that out of the way. And now he plays Jay Garrick, and now he gets to suit up as his former Barry Allen self. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm not looking forward to seeing Stephen Amell as the Flash. In the Flash costume. Because he did a video, he's like, I'm not supposed to look good in the Flash suit. And I'm like, Stephen, don't get me wrong, you are hot. But the flash suit doesn't look good on anyone, and it does not look good on you. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. It's like absolutely horrible. And costume designer for the flash suit, please bring back the chin strap, because I can see like a little loose piece on the face, and it's not cool. It's the flash suit, as I've said before, it is terrible. It is ugly. And also Candace Patton and Emily Bett Rickards, do you guys like share a costume person? Do you share like an outfit or a wardrobe person? Because I notice twice now you have worn the same outfit, or like at least the same sweater. So are you guys like shopping buddies when you're away from your husbands? Just curious. Because I've noticed twice that you have worn these same exact sweaters. Like that greenish gray and kind of burgundy sweater. And then the orange black sweater. I'm also looking forward to seeing Batgirl, although her wig looks terrible. And as much as I want Legends to cross over because they have a bunch of kick-ass women, I'm kind of glad they're not crossing over, which means Sarah can't meet Kate Kane, because Kate Kane, as if people don't already know this, is a lesbian superhero. She's gonna lead me to the Open for All campaign soon. But before that, I have to say about cancel culture. So I'm glad that Sarah won't meet Batgirl just for the sake of, like, oh, you're into girls, I'm into girls too, let's hook up. Because I don't want Sarah to cheat on Ava, even though I don't really care for Ava Lance, just because I don't really care for anything or any ship that Sarah is part of, because anyone deserves better than Sarah, because I really don't like that character. But at the same time, if Ava Lance is finally a stable relationship for Sarah that we can see on screen, that would be fine. But things that I am not looking forward to in the crossover, Iris only gets one episode, to be in one episode for like the 5th time in a row. Even though, and the only time that she got to be part of all 4 crossovers was last year at her wedding, which should be one of my favorite West Allen moments. And the fact that the West Allen moments are not my favorite, is not one of my favorite West Allen moments, annoys me, because you bring in like a bunch of characters part of a minority group, like Alex Danvers is a lesbian, Sarah Lance is bisexual, Very and Kara are supposed to be Jewish, and Felicity Smoke is Jewish, and Cisco is a brown person, or he's a Latina and he's part of the minority. And you do all of these things and you decide to bring in Nazis, and you kill off your only one of the Jewish characters at the hands of a Nazi. And then in the next Legends of Tomorrow episode, you emphasize how Jewish he is by wearing this ugly sweater with them. Oh my god, what is it called? I think it's like an 8 candle thing where, you know, those when Jewish people celebrate Hanukkah and they have this thing where they burn candles. If you remember what that's called, please let me know, because I'm not recalling what the thing is called right now. And then you have Olicity just ruin the West Allen wedding, get married off of their wedding, and they, Olicity, get to mention their wedding anniversary. Like, oh, happy anniversary, yeah. You have the anniversary because you piggybacked off of the West Allen wedding. Sorry for rubbing my face, but I have, like, head coffee. And you do crap like that. But West Allen, I mean, the 100th episode was okay because Barry and Nora were spending time together. Nora Access, because that's what I call her, because this universe has, like, way too many damn Noras in it, and her name should be Dawn, which, by the way, E.O. Wells calls her Dawn, and I'm really shocked that Nora Excess did not know that Eobard Thawne killed her grandmother. So, yeah. And the other thing that, and was kind of getting off topic, but Barry, West Allen, the gold standard, the couple with 6 first kisses, 3 first dates, 2 proposals, and 1 endgame, they don't get to celebrate their wedding? You mean to tell me that Barry, who went overboard with the romance stuff and gave her flowers that he carved, gave Iris a bunch of flowers where he spelled her name in those flowers, wouldn't go all out for their wedding anniversary? I mean, this is the same guy who bought an apartment for Iris and him to live in as their Christmas present. You mean to tell me the same guy, when Iris still thought they were platonic friends, got searched around a zoo on, like, their 4th grade field trip and gave Iris wedding bands, and Iris, being naive at the time, thought it was a platonic gift. And Eddie is like, platonic friends don't give wedding bands to each other. I mean, Barry Allen wrote up a 38-page single-spaced vows and reasons he loves Iris West Allen, and you're telling me that Barry would not go all out for their wedding anniversary? I mean, Barry is cute and he's adorable, but when it comes to Iris, he is the kinkiest little shit. He is kinky, okay? I mean, he wants to always have sex with Iris. I mean, well, who wouldn't? And Iris is probably getting some good sex, I mean, because Barry can vibrate. And I know I just went off on a tangent about West Allen, and I didn't get my vow renewal. I want my vow renewal. I want my vow renewal. I want my goddamn vow. I want the vow renewal that I was promised. Well, I think I was promised. I don't know for sure, but I deserve a vow renewal, and I deserve it. Okay, us West Allen fans were robbed. Okay, so anyway, I saw a clip. Okay, back to the crossover. Barry is all fine and good, until he finds out that Oliver and Iris are married, and he's like, we have to fix this right now. And Oliver's reaction to waking up with Iris, or in Iris's bed, and walking around the apartment. And his first reaction is, what if Barry walks in? Because Oliver, in the past, has been a cheater, and he's been a very well, he hasn't really been that smart. I can't stop smiling. And this is a guy who's cheated so much that he's paranoid about getting caught with Iris. And Iris can make perfect pancakes. So, like, that's some of the few things. There are some of the. Ugh. So that's what I'm looking forward to in the crossover, because I'm only watching for Flash. And, you know, I mean, Candace is truly a queen because she shines in everything she's in. And she, they sure are hell. They are sure promoting the hell out of her portion of the crossover, despite the fact that she's in one episode. Okay, so things I'm not looking forward to in the crossover. Stephen Amell wearing the Flash suit. Oh, it's terrible, guys. It is horrible. It's ugly, I'm sorry, but it's gross. I'm not looking forward to, I don't like the fact that Lois Lane is in the crossover and she's not going to meet Iris West Allen, nor are Kara, Lois, and Iris are going to have any scenes together. And once again, Katie Cassidy is not in this crossover as Dinah Laurel Lance, because they've always excluded Dinah Laurel Lance from the crossovers. I don't know what the hell their deal is with her, because and Mark Guggenheim is in charge of this crossover. Like, who the dick put him in charge of this crossover? Because this is just not cool at all. And he is seriously, he needs to go away. Like, he needs to go away. He needs to leave. He needs to go bye-bye. And then you have Caitlin Snow and Felicity having heart-to-hearts, I guess. And from what I've heard, there is behind-the-scenes drama with Danielle and Emily, because Emily goes out of her way to untag Danielle from any tweets and has unfollowed Danielle from social media. We don't get any Smoke West scenes, which I'm not the biggest fan of Smoke West, but I only like it because Emily and Candace have great on-screen chemistry together, and I can tolerate it a little better. I can tolerate Felicity when she's not being a classist snob, or when she's not around Oliver, because she's ruined as a character. She's not a very good character, but she's an okay character when she's not on her own show. And Caitlin Snow is not a good character whatsoever. But I will admit that she did look good with her gray hair up, or like the white hair that she has as Killer Frost. It's probably the best look that Killer Frost has had in a while. But yeah, and it bothers me because you have gone out of your way to exclude the black female lead who's playing an iconic character, and you've done this continuously, and Candace Patton and and the Candace Patton fans / the Iris West Allen fans have constantly advocated to get more females on the show. She is constantly advocating for more females. She is constantly advocating for more storylines for Iris. And I watched the recent interview of Candace where she was saying how I want reporter Iris. I mean, I like being the leader. I like the agency I have. I like being in Star Labs because it's always fun having more females in that room. And it's the way she said it was fun having more females in that room. When Danielle was asked what her favorite part of being in Star Labs was, oh, I like being the only girl. Well, Candace was like, oh, it's really great having more females in Star Labs because we need some more females on the show. And that is like the severe contrast of having Candace, the type of feminist and person Candace is, versus the type of person Danielle Panabaker and Candace are. So, yeah. And I really don't like Danielle anymore, which leads me to my next subject, cancel culture. And it's where you cancel a person because they said something stupid. Or they do something dumb, or they do something you don't like, and all of a sudden they're not likable anymore. Some examples of this would be Katie Lotz saying the word dyke when she high-fived Shyler Lee, and she quoted a tweet that said, "Oh, that is the dykiest high five I've ever seen," which is a slur to the younger lesbian generation. And I've heard older lesbians use the word dyke, but not as like a, oh, that dyke. Sorry for saying that word. It's more like in terms of endearment, and they mean it in a loving, joking way. And I don't think Katie Lotz saying the word dyke should be enough to get her canceled. It should be, I mean, yes, you should have the right to call her out on it, but if she's willing to learn and grow and apologize for the mistake, then there's no need to keep bringing it up. But then there is a what else? Oh, and then she referred to people of color or like non-white people, as we need more colored people, which I'm not so much offended by the word. I mean, yes, I know it has a negative connotation, but my dad is a black man who uses the term, oh yeah, I'm a colored person, because he kind of grew up in that time era, and he was born in like 1960 in Mississippi, and he was poor and black and in the South. And then there is the constant need to, or like, one of them was Henry Cavill, who, by the way, he plays my favorite version of Superman. And since I'm making a DC-related video, I thought I would just show you. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but here's my Justice League shirt. He said in the Me Too movement he was scared of being called a rapist, and I don't think that is how he meant it, or how he um, he shouldn't, if he doesn't rape anyone and he's not sexually assaulting anyone, he shouldn't be afraid to be called a rapist. And it was kind of a stupid thing he said. And yes, you have the right to call him out for it as a fan. But I don't think a celebrity who does something or says something stupid is enough to get them canceled if they are willing to grow from their mistakes. Or another one is Rowan Blanchard liking biphobic tweets and then, well, I mean, she did give a really shitty apology. Well, okay, she gave a really crappy, shitty apology. She did. Rowan, girl, I love you, but you can do better than that. But the only time I'd say you'd really cancel someone is if they are domestically violent towards their females, have committed sexual assault, or if you're stupid like James Gunn and you're making a bunch of pedophilia jokes. But it's okay, he's sorry, he's white, and he can get away with it. It's just the whole need to cancel someone because they say something stupid or do something stupid is just really, it's such a toxic thing, because if you stopped liking someone simply because they did or said something stupid, then you would not have a lot of good friends in your life. And we have to also remember that although celebrities have big names and they make slightly more money than the rest of the world, we also have to remember that they're people too. They're human beings. And they're not bad people just because they say something stupid or do something stupid. But the reason I stopped liking Danielle Panabaker is because of her continuous pattern of constantly excluding her black co-star, the constant baiting of a racist fandom. I mean, if she had done this like once and did it one time, I could have easily forgiven it, and she could have apologized to Candace for doing something really shady and racist. But no, Danielle Panabaker has continually said she liked being the only girl in Star Labs, has failed twice to give Candace credit to She-Thority, has baited a racist fan base that bully and harass Candace, which is why no one gives a shit about Caitlin Snow, and that is why Caitlin Snow, that I believe is the reason Caitlin Snow only trends when she's standing next to Barry. She can't even create buzz when an episode is centered around her, and yeah. And Danielle Panabaker has not been willing to learn, and she is the embodiment of white feminism and white privilege. Sorry, I just went on another rant about Danielle Panabaker, and it just is really frustrating. And then I see Anna Diop's co-stars from Titans female co-stars, they're all sitting around, they're all being super supportive of her. Not sitting around, but I saw a video of them like, oh, say hi to my haters, or oh, no, say hi to my lovers. Because when you are a black woman in the superhero genre and you are playing a traditionally white or alien character, or you're a black woman who gets hired to play a character that they deem white, you are automatically going to get pushback, and you're going to get backlash and petitions to get you fired simply because you're a black woman playing a love interest to the white fave. You are in the lead role and you're not in the supporting role of your friend. You're not in the best friend role. You're not in the sassy black girl role. You are filling the position that is normally held by a white woman, and you are getting the love and care you need. And there's a lot of pushback. For example, with Josie and Archie. I don't even watch Riverdale, and I can already tell you the reason people don't want Josie with Archie. I can already tell you the reason, and it's the same, different fandom, different characters, different ship, same reason, and it's because she's black. Yeah, it's because she's black that people don't like Josie and Archie, because they never want their black female character with the white fave. They're happy if the black female character is the best friend, the sassy chick, and has no love interest, and they're a strong black woman. But anytime they're vulnerable, then they're not strong anymore. Sorry, because this is like getting really long. Now on to the CW's Open for All campaign. Okay. Open for All is a beautiful concept, except for the fact that you brutalize black characters. You pay Nefefsa Williams / Anissa Pierce dust, and you don't even acknowledge the hate that Candace gets. But you're open to all. You don't give Cisco Ramon, your brown Latina character, a good storyline. You constantly whitewash and erase parts of the character's identity. Like Barry is supposed to be Jewish, Kara is supposed to be Jewish, and you're terrible with relationships, but you're open to all, aren't you? Oh, and then there is this article titled Kate Kane, or Ruby Rose talks about playing the first lesbian superhero on the CW, and I'm just like, well, I mean, she's the first lesbian superhero to be played by an actual lesbian, but Ruby Rose is not Jewish. But I'm just like, she's not the first lesbian superhero to go live action. I mean, Anissa is waving in the corner and she says hi. Thunder says hi, guys, like, and It's like, why do you guys constantly sleep on Anissa? Oh, wait, I know why. Because she is black. I mean, you'll go out of your way to acknowledge the LGBTQ superheroes as long as they're white. As I know I keep moving around and I'm sorry that's distracting. As long as they are white. But not. And white people have had the privilege of seeing themselves represented for hundreds of years. For several years now. And there is even this article, and I'm going to try and link it, about how Candace Patton's stunt double is an actual black woman. Thank God for that. And she talked about not only is it harder for actresses, black actresses, and especially if you're a dark-skinned actress, like Trina McGee, who played Angela on Boy Meets World. The actress who plays Josie, also dark-skinned woman, and Anna Diop, because they're all playing they've either played or playing love interest to the white hero. And that's like really hard because of how snotty racist fandoms get. But she also talked about how hard it was to find a job as a black stunt woman, because when people do hire stunt people, sometimes they will hire a white stunt person and paint them brown. And Candace has constantly talked about getting black female writers and has advocated for diversity in every section of the workplace. It's like, oh, well, you have a black female lead, check. Oh, you have a lesbian superhero, check. Oh, you have a gay character, check. No, it's like, if you're going to have if you're going to have LGBTQ characters, and you're going to have black characters and characters of color, you need to hire writers of color, you need to hire LGBTQ writers, you need to hire you need to hire people behind the scenes to write what's going to be on screen. So what is on screen should also be what is in the writer's room. Girl Meets World could have used that. And the Open to All campaign kind of just irked me because, well, no, it did irk me. It irked me because for 5 seasons, you have shortchanged Candace Patton's acting abilities. You have, she always delivers an awesome performance. But you write the West as if they were a white family. It is not realistic for an interracial couple to never talk about race. I'm not saying that you have to talk about, like, oh, I'm black. Oh, feminism. That's not realistic. It's not realistic for Iris not to have a different point of view as a black woman from a white woman. And it's not realistic for people not to ask Barry, hey, what was it like being a white kid, a white boy growing up in a black family? Like, that stuff is never talked about. And the only time they write Iris as a black woman is when tragic events happen to her and she's got to be strong. She's got to be the strong black woman. She never gets to break down. Like, Lynn had a total meltdown over Jennifer running away. Because, well, duh, that's her daughter. And had a meltdown over the pod kids. I mean, I don't know what the hell she was drinking, but it was like some brown alcohol drink. She was drinking, she was crying, she was puking in the toilet. She had a meltdown and kind of went on a rampage through Jennifer's room. But it's like, to always be like, oh, I can take it. Oh, okay, my mom is now alive and dies before I get to know her. I can take it. My boyfriend commits suicide in front of me. I can take it. Like, no, why should she have to take that all in stride? Like, the things they put Iris through and the fact that they don't give her a point of view, they don't give her a moment to break down, they barely show her feelings. Well, it's like having to yank teeth to give Iris West Allen a good storyline. And I don't mean to sound petty, but why does Caitlin get to be comforted by Cisco and Harry? Cisco of all people, why does Joe get to comfort Caitlin? Like, why does she get the privilege of getting to depend on people? I mean, if I were Joe, I wouldn't want Caitlin anywhere near me, considering after the fact, especially when she tries to kill my daughter, I'm pretending to be Joe, kidnaps my girlfriend and holds an icicle to her throat, and or fiance or wife or whatever, and stabs my son. Well, okay, Barry's not really a son, but Joe and Barry call each other. Well, Joe calls Barry his son because he raised them like a son, but never actually legally adopted him or had him biologically. Like, Caitlin, that's an example of white privilege, which will be my next video. It just annoyed me. And Flash writers, for like the 15th millionth time, please hire black female writers. And CWDCTVverse, please fire Mark Guggenheim. Okay guys, this video was longer than I had intended it to be, so if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below, leave suggestions, and thanks for watching this entire video if you guys are still here watching me, and have a good one.